My name is Elizabeth. Welcome to my channel. It's called 22 Fashion Engineers, and this is going to be, fashion, makeup, girly things, all fun. We'll see how things develop, so we'll take it from there. For the first video, what else are we gonna do? Ta-da-da-da-da, but a foundation routine. Because we need another foundation routine in our lives. The internet is not full of them already. There's not enough gurus and everybody's mother and grandmother doing foundation routines on here. So why not? We'll start with the basics. Basically, I don't switch up my foundations very often. I switch them seasonally. Reason being is I buy a bottle and I finish it. So, I don't really try products that, I need to use every single day. I do my research, I look things up, I make sure that things would be fitting with my skin and what I need and my goals. So, I pretty much know what I'm doing at this point. If something doesn't work for me, it goes right back, or I don't keep it. I don't like to get cluttered. So I usually use 2, maybe 3 types of foundations throughout the year. There's a rhyme and reason to it. For summertime, even though I have dry skin, I still want something that won't dry my skin tremendously. Of course, I moisturize, and I moisturize with an SPF lotion, and I'll show you that. I usually use the Pro X, anti-aging age repair lotion with broad spectrum SPF 30. Reason being is I'm not somebody, again, who is brand driven, but I found that that particular one works for me the best. It's not too thick. It doesn't sit on your skin. It doesn't. It does absorb, and yes, it does kind of sweat up throughout the day. But at the same time, it's a very good moisturizer that won't leave you overly greasy. And for the super hot summer days, there's ways to counter that, and I'll show you what I do to sort of keep the shininess at bay. But at the end of the day, it's still a very good moisturizing product that doesn't cost too much, even though it is a little bit pricey. It lasts me about a year, and I use it every day. So that's my first step. And then for summertime, I use the ColorStay foundation. This is the... Okay, there you go, ColorStay. You all seen it. This is in, I believe, Classic Ivory. One of those. Very light colors, because I'm very pale and I glow in the dark. Even though it's summertime and I do get a little bit tanned. The good thing is that when I burn, I actually turn a shade of bronze afterwards for about 5 minutes, and then it goes away. So I use a ColorStay. It's a because again, in the summertime with moisturizer and the heat and everything else, makeup will melt off your face. It's a very light foundation. It's for me, it's lasting decently. I mean, it's not going to stay the whole day. I don't know what will. If you do, please let me know, because by no means am I an expert in this. Just letting you know what works for me. So I use that, and then of course I use powders and concealers, and you'll see. What else I wanted to mention? Oh, okay, for the winter time, I use something else, and it's a lot more moisturizing. I find that in the summertime, I am able to exfoliate my skin more efficiently, to moisturize more efficiently, and I don't get as many dry flakies on my face. I have very dry skin with an oily T-zone, mostly my nose. So with this, if you're going to use it during the winter and you have those problems and those issues, it's actually going to emphasize them. So I don't use it during the winter. I use it in the summertime, and it works quite well. It's not super mattifying, but at the same time, I find it holds very well. The other thing is, in the winter time, the foundation that I use is a little bit different than my skin tone. I love the texture, and there's probably good alternatives out there. It's that you can find within your color, but it is slightly different for me. And so when I do that, I do a full face foundation. Basically everything from my forehead to my neck is blended in, a little bit probably on my ears too, depending if my hair is up or down. With this foundation, it happens to be with a ColorStay. It happens to be the exact match for my skin, and of course it's going to vary for you. Perhaps you have the same look, perhaps you use a different brand. The brand really doesn't matter. At the end of the day, is what works for you. But because it's exactly my color, I get away with not doing a full face foundation routine, and this is why I wanted to do this video. I know it took a long time to get to this point. Everybody has their issues and their trouble spots on their face. For me, basically, it's my, you know, my not necessarily my T-zone, but pretty much here in the center of my face. And that is where I concentrate the makeup. That is the, you know, the covering makeup. I don't believe in putting makeup on where it's not necessary, especially for every day. I mean, if you're going to run errands, or even if you're going to work and back, you know, who has an hour to get ready every day and do a flawless, you know, routine of everything? And let's not forget that this is just the first step, pretty much one of the first steps. You know, there's still eyeshadows and lipsticks and blushes and contours and all that stuff to do. So what I do, I actually concentrate in the middle of my face, and my leg is falling asleep. So what I do, pretty much the first thing is to use the SPF, put it on the back of my hand, just a little bit, and then I use my fingers. You can use pretty much any tool. You can use your fingers, you can use a brush. It looks silly, but this I make sure that I cover everywhere, okay? Because, and then take more as needed, because this is really going to protect you. If you don't have SPF on, especially in the summertime, and you miss a spot, you will get a burn. I mean, it's not, you know, it's not, especially if you're gonna be out there for a long time, for several hours, it's just not a good thing. And of course, you use something for you use something for your body as well, and use something for your lips, because you can get a burn on your lips. Don't forget your temples, okay? And without getting it in your eyes, I like to get in as close to the lash line as possible. But be careful with this, because honestly, it does sting. Don't test me how I know. It's very good because this area here tends to be very, very sensitive. So you do want the coverage very light on my eyelids, because I don't want things to slide off my eyelids too once I put the makeup on, even though I do use a base or a primer. So, but it's still good to have the coverage right here between my eyebrows. Let's not forget this, and on the sides of my nose. So as you see, I am very good at putting this on and being diligent about it, because it's a very important step. The other thing is, I do put it on my ears too. I don't know if you've ever had a burn on your ears. I have, and I was like, why are my ears hurting? Well, guess what? You covered your face with sunscreen, but not your ears. So I learned my lesson. Of course, your neck. And by the way, it's not only to protect you from burns, and if you need more, of course, you're gonna get more. It's not only to protect you from burns, but also it prevents premature aging. The sun and everything else, you know, the UV rays, all the X-rays, and you name them, everything that's out there, it's going to cause a lot of skin issues later on. So instead of trying to repair things, you might as well prevent them, okay? And of course, the back of your neck. Yeah, nobody sees that part in a video or, you know, when you walk around. But again, if you're going to have your hair up, you're actually going to feel it, and you're gonna get a burn there. And I actually am recovering from a little bit of a burn on my back, because I went gardening recently, and I didn't think that I was gonna be out there for that long. And lo and behold, it didn't take long, and now I'm peeling, and you should not be doing that. So once everything is moisturized, as you can see, it's sinking in fairly well, fairly fast. It's still a little bit moist and dewy. So what I'm gonna do is, at this point I have two choices. I either, depending on how much time I have, is I either go ahead and apply a base. This is the NYX base in ESB 03. You can do that, or You can use an eyeshadow primer. This is what I use usually. This is the NARS eyeshadow primer, and it's very, very, very good. Another version that I had, this was from this is Shadow Works from CoastalScents. I've had this for a while. It, you know, again, these things work fairly okay. I do like the NARS one the best. But again, you know, this is what, $24, $26 nowadays. It's quite pricey, and I'm running out. So I like affordable makeup and affordable products that are of good quality. If I find something at the drugstore, I will use it. If not, then I will go higher end. I find that I actually like quite a few products from NARS, and you know, those are the ones I use. But generally speaking, eyeshadow base. You can put it on before or after. For me, sometimes if I have a lot of blemishes and a lot of things like that, I will use the eyeshadow base on those blemishes as well. Reason being is they will, you know, the foundation will actually stick to it. It's a very good one. It has a little bit of a coverage. So this is the one I'm going to use today, and I'm going to start with it. I'm going to dip my brush. This is a foundation brush. I've had this for a while. This is it came in a set from Costco. Some of their, you know, they do these sets, and this was the foundation one, and I've kept it, and it has no name or number and no way of getting this, and I'm sad because I want another one like it. I really like it. So what I do is I come in and I just put this on, and again, you can stick your finger in here, but when your nails are a little bit longer, you don't really want that because then they'll get underneath your nails. So a little bit here, a little bit here, and there you go. It has a little, don't poke yourself in the eye, as I do very often. I go a little bit higher up underneath my brow bone as well. I have some veining there, and then of course in here. So if you feel like you need extra coverage, and I often do, especially if I wake up extra early in the morning, I will even go underneath here, underneath my eye area. I always make sure that I don't have product in my eye. So there you go. That's why I stick my fingers in my eyes. Not a very good thing, but we'll do the same thing underneath here. You know, we want two matching eyes ideally. And like I said, just go in. I like to go right on my eyelid. My eyelids, my lower eyelids, are quite fatty. They protrude, and that can be a challenge, but it can also work in your favor, as I've learned over the years. But this is pretty much just to set. And then I have generally some discoloration here. I have a couple freckles, and then for some reason I always get breakouts there. I have a little bit of a mark on my nose, so I'll put a little bit of this on there, and a little on my chin where I had the little tiny mark that I couldn't resist, and I took it out, and now I have to deal with the scar. So, you know, until it fades, it's gonna get a little bit of extra care. Now with this SPF lotion that I'm using, it works fairly well as a primer. Obviously, I'm pretty sure that it has silicone in it. Somewhere it's listed, but you know, silicone will make things you know, smoother on your face. I know a lot of people don't like it. I use it, it works for me, it doesn't bother me, it doesn't clog my pores. So what I find is with a lot of SPF products, if they're too thick, when you put foundation or products on, it will peel. This doesn't happen with this, provided that you don't overload your face with product. So now I actually move on to the foundation itself. I shake, 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 shake it, shake, 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 and then the way I do it is I just take off the cap. There you go. And whatever is in the cap, that's pretty much what I need, plus a little bit. So I'm just gonna stick my brush in here, the same brush that I can't be bothered when I'm in a hurry. I just want to go out there. You know, this is taking a long time because I'm talking to you, but usually I can do foundation like that. So what I do is I don't touch my forehead. Really? Yes, I don't touch my forehead today or in general. provided I don't have any blemishes on there. Generally speaking, that's not a trouble area for me, and I'm lucky and I'm not going to mess with it. So I'm just going to concentrate the foundation in the places that I feel need a little bit of coverage. So that is usually my nose, and I'm gonna paint a little bit on my face, just like this. And then I go in and I blend, 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 and you can see that this is exactly the color of my skin. Excuse me. And it just pretty much melts into my skin. The nice thing about the SPF is that it really blends with the foundation, and somehow it sinks in together. So it only helps it. It's so if you didn't want to use SPF before, that is an additional reason. For me, it just makes my foundation go in a lot easier. It blends beautifully, and there you go. And underneath my eyes. So then you can pat, pat, pat. If you feel you need a little bit more, there you go. I do a little bit on here. I don't know if you can see, there's a little bit of, you know, a couple of spider veins, things like that. But generally speaking, you know, just to match it, with this foundation being exactly my color, I don't do too much. We'll go up here, again, as needed. And with this brush, this is a great brush because you can get into the hollows of your eyes. You can, hollows of your eyes? Yeah, I would guess so. And around your nose and right underneath your eyes. So it's a very good, this pencil shape kind of brush. And it's a good multitasker, I find. I use it with everything. I use it with foundation. You know, I have concealer brushes, and sometimes I use them, sometimes I don't. I use it with base, with shadows, things like that. So there you go. This is pretty much as much foundation I will wear, and this will last a long, long, long time. So, and this is not like it's a repurchase, obviously. I'm very happy with it. This is the one. Oh, okay, there you go. No, it's not ivory. It's 150 buff, and it has SPF 15 in it. I don't mind layering SPF because in the summertime you need it. So this is the foundation part. I have very dark circles. I don't know if you can see. You can actually see them more when you tilt your head down. So when I do my my concealer for my eyes, that's the technique that I use. If I could find my concealer, that would be really great. There it is. And for concealer, I use another drugstore product that is actually very good. This is the True Match Concealer Fusion Parfait Crayon Super Blendable Crayon Concealer. There you go. Welcome to America. And the way this works, it's a twist up. This is how big it is. I've used quite a bit. But yeah, you get this big thing and then a little bit of product. But of course, you don't need to use all of that. So what I do is, you have two options, and I'll show you both. If I need extra coverage, I will go in and I will take it from the tube and just apply it underneath. Okay? And then you can either take your fingers or you can take a brush and you can blend it. Looking up is going to stretch out your muscle here so you can get underneath your eyes. There you go. Or you can even go with your brush. So there you go. As you can see, there's a little bit of difference. This eye actually has darker circles. I don't know why, but it has darker circles. I also have a vein going through, which adds to that blue cast. So you can put a little bit more should you want to, and just kind of build on it. I don't like to go too heavy with it because, of course, it's going to dry and then it's going to go crackly. The other way to use it, I just pretty much take it on my finger, whichever one you want. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, 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 tap. And this is not going to be as heavy of an application. as when you put it directly on your, and you can see on your face. Of course, you can also use a brush. I'm gonna use this is a Tools, what is this, concealer brush. It doesn't have a number, but it's one of those. You can come in here with it and do the same. And of course, if that doesn't work, you can always go in and then blend it. Okay. I like to use my fingers for cream products because I don't like to tug at my skin, and I find that sometimes with a brush you will do that instead of just patting, and that pretty much stamps the product on without pulling your skin. The other reason is your fingers are warm, so they kind of melt the product and blend it better. So that's why you will see I do a lot of my coverage with my fingers. So there you go. And now when I tilt my head down, it's not as pronounced, you know, the darkness. You can do more concealer if you want. I'm happy with what I do. If you know, just use it as needed. Now for face concealer, if I can find it, and it went. For face concealer, I use the ColorStay concealer. I am a fan of this line. It's the ColorStay Blemish Concealer in Light. So I don't happen to have blemishes today, but let's see, this one. I picked a really good day for a foundation routine, huh? And I have a tiny little bit here and maybe here. So what I do, I just put out a tube. It's not the most sanitary thing in the world. Some people are against it. You can of course grab a brush. Sometimes if I have a lot of things to do on my face, I'll just grab a brush and pretty much either go here or take it off the wand itself. Then I can go in with a brush, or I can just dab, and there you go. All right. If you really want to go crazy and you want to do highlighters, this is a very this is a discontinued highlighter at this point. This was a Maybelline one, but any highlighting concealer or anything that's meant to illuminate your face would probably work. You can put it underneath your eyes here. I don't. You can put it even here depending on your face structure. Mine is a little bit deeper, so I could probably illuminate that area if I really cared about it. Today is just one of those days where I'm just going to be running around, so I'm not going to do any extra work, but I will show you something. If you're starting to get a little bit older, and of course we all are, and you get these lines here, okay, your laugh lines, which I'm very proud of because that means I laugh a lot. I would take a little bit of illuminator like this and just go in the hollow right where it is, okay, and then just take your concealer brush and gently blend it. So what that is going to do is, because it's a little bit lighter than your skin, it's going to get into that groove and pretty much make it almost disappear. Okay, it's just fooling the eye. That's what makeup is. So there you go. You see now how it's diminished? Okay, now you want to make sure that you blend it because you don't want just like a shiny light radiating from your nose towards your mouth. And of course you can do the same on the other side as needed. That one is, mine don't match, so it doesn't matter, but you do it as, you know, as your face requires, I guess. And there you go. So just a little bit, you can add more. I don't like to wear too much makeup. I don't want it to look cakey. The other thing that I do, of course, is to set the foundation. I use, surprise, the ColorStay powder. Revlon is not paying for me to say these things at this point. I wish they were. Maybe they will, but I'm a fan of their ColorStay line. Mine's been through so much. I don't know what happened, but it actually broke. I didn't drop it. That was good, but yeah, I don't use the little sponge that comes with it. You can, I don't. it's a matter of preference. And what I do use it is with my EcoTool brush. Again, I was on a kick to buy brushes that were inexpensive. I went to the drugstore, picked up EcoTools, and they were fine, and I've been using them. So what I really like about this, though, is it's a retractable kabuki brush like this. So this is perfect to take with you, and I do. It's very good for a quick fix. What I do when I put powder on, instead of powdering my face everywhere and buffing it and doing all those things and moving everything around, like I said, I tend to have dry skin, so even in the summertime I don't want to rub my face, because then that will create a little bit of flakiness. So I would rather pat, and I would rather stamp on my face. So what I do, instead of going all the way like this, I pretty much use it like this, all the way in, right? Maybe a little bit. And what that does is it creates a very, very dense head for it, and pretty much a stamping tool. So I will take the powder. Oh, am I blinding you? Okay. Pat, pat, pat. This is what I have on it, and dab it where needed. I usually do that on my nose. My nose is the shiniest area, and of course this will be reapplied throughout the day. What I really like about this powder is that it actually has some coverage. It is exactly the same color as my skin, as the foundation. It doesn't look overly powdery, and it actually creates more coverage than just the foundation alone, and it minimizes your pores. My pores on my nose are quite large, and you know, it's what it is. Everybody has them. We are human, of course we have pores, thank God, otherwise we'd be made of plastic. But of course it's really nice to have a more finished, I would say flawless, because nobody's flawless, and I don't think that flawless is a very good look for a human. And then of course go around wherever you need it, particularly areas that you put on extra things like concealers and other other products. Underneath my eyes, you can see that I have a little bit of I have fine lines. Everybody does. If you don't, well, you don't get some. But I have a couple of fine lines, and because all the products I put on are very, very moisturizing, very creamy, of course they will gather in those little lines. So what I do is, once I put this away, really that's all the powdering I do, it's not that exciting, but it's just enough. I put every product I put on my face, and the amount of it is as needed. It's not because you should look overly done every single time that you go out. For the fine lines, of course, go in and make sure that they don't settle, the products don't settle in. So sort of blend them in. And then I like to set them with a little brush like this one. This is an EcoTools one. Woohoo! Today's video should be sponsored by Revlon and EcoTools. And one day. And go back to the powder. This is a blending brush, but this is what I use to set my under eye area. Okay? And just very, very gently powder in, because you don't want this area to look dry. And that's what I like about this powder. It doesn't really make you look dry at all. Make sure you don't have product in your eyes, on your eyelashes. And then even with this you can go boop, 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 and blend it in. Any other areas if you need to, right underneath here, and then you're done. Okay, maybe on your eyebrows. I mean, not underneath your eyebrows. Don't powder your eyebrows. So this is what I do. At this point, you can stop and you're perfectly fine. I will take this a little bit further. This is not a contouring video, but I'll just show you what I do, because obviously when you have one color on your face, it tends to flatten your face, so you want to add a little bit of dimension. Being summertime, of course, it's nice to use a bronzer. This is the Rimmel Bronzer. It's been so used that you can't even see that it says bronzer on it. It's in 022 Sun Bronze. It's an okay bronzer. It's matte. I like it. I'm not crazy about it. This hasn't lasted that long, but then again, I do contour. So what I do, EcoTools, EcoTools brush, just like this. Sweep, 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 and then get rid of the excess. I don't like to bang things, you know, on tables or anything like that. I think it creates a mess, but if you just shake it a little bit, that's pretty good. First place that I contour is my nose. Why? My nose is a little bit wider at the bottom than at the top. Not a problem. My nose it fits my face, but it's always really nice to create a little bit of dimension. So I contour from here to here, here to here. Obviously you want to match the sides, and or as needed. My nose is a little bit crooked on this side, I believe, so you're gonna need a little bit more contouring on the side that's not symmetrical. So what we're gonna do is just go here really quickly. Okay, another sweep, and then on this side here. And this brush is so soft and enjoyable. So if you haven't powdered, and then a little bit on the bridge there. If you haven't powdered, and you don't need to, let's say you have very, very dry skin, you will need less bronzer, because now the bronzer is actually sticking to that powder on top instead of the foundation, which is a little bit more moist. So now you see how I get a little bit of dimension on my nose. It's a little bit different on camera. You can even like hold this a little bit like this to flatten the bristles and create that line. Okay, there we go. So now I don't want it to be just like this because it looks a little bit concentrated and unnatural. I don't know whose face the sun can hit symmetrically just on the places that you need. So I will blend a little bit of the bronzer onto the sides, just so that we make it a little bit more natural looking, let's say. I think that word is overused. Just to, yeah. Then, as far as the contouring goes, I know everybody says make a fish face. I don't do a fish face, just the structure width of my face, it doesn't work. I have a small chin. If I was gonna go with the bronzer all the way here, this is where I would have bronzer to look very silly. So I know where my cheekbone is. It's right here, right underneath, and that's where the bronzer will go. I like to do mine in a circular motion because I don't want a straight line. Again, I want things to look diffused. Things look a lot more natural when they are blended instead of very, very sharp. So there you go. Okay, a little bit of bronzer, sweep, sweep, sweep again. Do the same thing on this side. Just a little bit, and I actually kind of blend it onto my jawline because it just looks strange on me otherwise. The other thing is I go a little bit on my forehead. Now I know I don't have foundation on my forehead, and that's fine, but I just want to contour it a little bit, because if you put bronzer only on your nose and your cheeks, it looks out of place, you know? It's kind of like coordinating a room. You want that color to pop everywhere. It looks more believable if you have references throughout your face. The other place that I actually contour is right along my jawline. As we get older, we you know, our jaw is not as tight as it used to be, and this is a very effective way of sharpening that angle. And then again, now you look at this depth that I've created with my features. So, and then if you have a very, very contoured face, you might want to contour the side of your neck a little bit. This is going to do two things. It's going to make sure that your face and your neck are not two different colors. Generally speaking, my neck is very light, so I want this to do the same. And again, it does bring in that dimension. Okay, make sure you don't have any harsh lines. Perhaps a little bit here. Okay, I don't know why I wore dangly earrings. Live and learn. And that's it for the contouring. If you want, you can go a little bit here and you're fine. You're ready to go. So this is my my foundation routine. It's a very long video, but basically it explains why I don't do a lot, why I don't do the whole face, and you get the little bonus of the the contouring. This is you know, if you have any questions, let me know. If you have any suggestions, let me know. This is why we're here. I like to learn things as well, and I like to watch everybody, and I will see you in the next video. I'm actually going to do an eye look after this video. And from now on, when you see me do any sort of tutorials as far as makeup goes, colors, you know, things like that, this is what I have underneath. This is how I got to that point, because I'm not going to do foundation every single time that that I do that video. And then in the winter time, I'll show you how I do my whole you know, full face foundation routine. If I have anything, you know, any other products that I'm using, I'll update on that. If not, enjoy, and I hope to see you back. Subscribe, like the video. Don't be mean, please. This is my first video, so don't be too mean about things, because I'm real and I have feelings and I don't want to get them hurt. So I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.